Ottawa, May 29, 2012. The city was just waking up, its streets bathed in the soft light of early summer. No one could have predicted the darkness about to descend. It was a routine morning at the Conservative Party headquarters, staff arriving, coffee brewing, the usual hum of political life. But that calm shattered when a receptionist opened a mysterious package delivered to the office. Inside was something unimaginable, a severed human foot, carefully wrapped in pink tissue paper. The smell was so foul it filled the room instantly, making people recoil in horror. Panic and disbelief rippled through the building. Who could be capable of such a gruesome act? And what message were they trying to send? Police arrived within minutes, their faces set and serious. This was no ordinary crime scene. It was a deliberate, chilling statement. Someone wanted to terrify, to provoke, to be noticed. Alongside the foot was a note, its contents so disturbing that investigators kept it from the public. The mystery deepened. As police scrambled for answers, news broke of a second package, this time sent to the Liberal Party. Inside was a human hand, another grotesque delivery that sent shockwaves through the nation's political heart. The pattern was undeniable. Someone was targeting Canada's political core, using horror as their weapon. The country's leaders were now at the center of a macabre mystery. The story exploded across the nation. Canada, a country known for its peace and order, suddenly found itself thrust into the spotlight of a gruesome crime that seemed ripped from a nightmare. The question on everyone's mind, what kind of person could commit such an atrocity? Was this the work of a deranged individual, or something even more sinister? The investigation soon led to a Montreal apartment. Inside, police found a scene of horror, blood-spattered walls, a stained mattress, and in a nearby alley, a suitcase containing a human torso. The pieces of a gruesome puzzle were coming together. The victim was identified as Jun Lin, a 33-year-old international student from China. He had come to Canada seeking opportunity, only to become the center of a tragedy that would haunt the nation. But the horror didn't end there. The investigation was about to take an even darker turn. The killer had filmed the murder, creating a video so disturbing it defied belief, and then posted it online for the world to see. The crime was no longer just physical, it had become digital, viral, and inescapable. The packages were only the beginning. Now the nightmare was spreading across the internet, reaching millions in a matter of hours. The world was watching in horror. The crime scene itself was a twisted spectacle, staged for maximum shock value. Every detail seemed calculated to provoke fear and fascination. The killer wanted an audience. He wanted the world to witness his crime, to be both horrified and captivated. Authorities quickly realized they were dealing with someone who craved attention, someone who saw infamy as a prize, not a consequence. The internet became the killer's stage, amplifying the horror and making it impossible to contain. The crime was now a global spectacle. The existence of the video changed everything. It was evidence, but also a weapon, spreading fear, outrage, and morbid curiosity. The investigation shifted online. Detectives and cybercrime experts scoured the web for digital clues, racing against time to track the killer's digital footprints. Soon, the world would learn the name Luka Magnotta, a man whose quest for notoriety would make him infamous around the globe. The horror was no longer just a Canadian tragedy. It had become an international obsession, with people everywhere following every new detail. This case would go down as one of the most disturbing and sensational in Canadian history, forever changing the way the country saw itself. The hunt for the killer was now a global manhunt, with law enforcement agencies working around the clock, piecing together clues from across continents. And as the world watched, breathless and horrified, the story of a package of horror was only just beginning. Who was Luka Magnotta? Born Eric Newman in 1982 Toronto, his early life was marked by instability and bullying. He reinvented himself, legally changing his name in 2006, desperate for a new identity and fame. Magnotta crafted a persona, model, escort, man of mystery, obsessed with his looks and image. He chased notoriety, even spreading rumors linking himself to infamous criminals. Fame, good or bad, was his goal. He auditioned for reality TV, but rejection only deepened his desperation. His life became a performance, but the audience never arrived. The cracks in his facade widened. Magnotta's hunger for attention was insatiable. He was ready to do anything to be noticed. And soon, he would cross a line from fantasy to horror. Before the murder, Magnotta was a digital chameleon, hundreds of fake profiles, fan pages, and staged photos. He built his own myth, arguing with himself online to generate buzz, but his obsession with attention took a darker turn. In 2010, videos surfaced of a masked man torturing kittens. Outrage erupted online. Amateur sleuths on Facebook began tracking the culprit, analyzing every detail. Their investigation pointed to Magnotta, but authorities dismissed their warnings. The sleuths saw a dangerous escalation. They feared what might come next. Their fears were justified. The internet had become both Magnotta's playground and his hunting ground. The line between online fantasy and real-world horror was about to vanish. The world was unprepared for what followed. In May 2012, Magnotta met Jun Lin, a Concordia University student, through an online ad. Lin was a bright, hopeful student eager to start a new chapter in his life. Lin was seeking a new life in Canada. Instead, he walked into a nightmare. He had no idea that his path would cross with someone so sinister. Magnotta had set the stage. Camera ready, murder premeditated. Every detail was meticulously planned, leaving nothing to chance. The video he posted, one lunatic, one ice pick, showed the brutal killing and dismemberment of Jun Lin. It was a horrifying display meant to shock and terrify. The details were unspeakable: violence, cannibalism, necrophilia. The sheer brutality of the act left an indelible mark on everyone who saw it. This was not a crime of passion, but a calculated production. Magnotta orchestrated every moment with chilling precision. Magnotta chose the soundtrack, echoing American Psycho, casting himself as the star. He reveled in the role, seeing himself as a twisted artist. After the murder, he meticulously cleaned the scene, edited the video, and uploaded it to a shock site. He wanted to ensure his work was seen by as many people as possible. He mailed body parts to political parties, ensuring maximum publicity. This act was designed to create fear and chaos. Magnotta wasn't just a killer. He was a showman, orchestrating his own infamy. He craved the spotlight and the notoriety that came with it. The crime was designed for an audience. He wanted to captivate and horrify, to leave a lasting impression. He wanted the world to see, to talk, to remember. His actions were a twisted plea for attention and recognition. The internet became his stage, and horror his legacy. He knew that the digital age would amplify his infamy. The authorities now faced a killer who thrived on attention. The chase was on, and the world was watching. After the murder, Magnotta mailed body parts to Canada's top political parties, a calculated act of terror. He wanted to taunt the authorities, to make his crime impossible to ignore. The packages triggered a nationwide investigation, linking Ottawa and Montreal. Police discovered the blood-soaked apartment and the torso in the suitcase. Magnotta's name shot to the top of every investigator's list. Meanwhile, the one lunatic, one ice pick video spread online, confirming the horror. Magnotta was controlling the narrative, releasing evidence before police could. He was not hiding. He was advertising. The killer was playing a twisted game with law enforcement and the public. The manhunt became a race against a criminal who craved the spotlight. The world was watching, and Magnotta was loving every second. The pursuit had gone global. With Magnotta's identity revealed, the manhunt went international. He fled Montreal for Paris, then Berlin, leaving a trail of clues. Interpol issued a red notice. Magnotta became one of the world's most wanted men. His face was everywhere, the story dominating headlines. Police tracked him through hotels and surveillance, noting his arrogance. He used his real name. The public joined the search, sharing tips and sightings online. The internet, once his tool for fame, now turned against him. Investigators believed his ego would betray him. They suspected he'd seek out internet cafes to follow his own story. The psychological profile was spot on. The net was closing in. Magnotta's need for attention would be his undoing. The world waited for his next move. June 4th, 2012, Berlin. The city was waking up to another ordinary morning, unaware that it was about to become the stage for the dramatic end to an international manhunt. Luka Magnotta slipped quietly into a small internet cafe, drawn by a compulsion to read news stories about himself. He was obsessed with his own infamy, unable to resist the urge to see how the world was reacting to his crimes. The owner, Kadir Anlayisli, recognized Magnotta immediately from the photos circulating worldwide. Staying calm, he discreetly alerted the police, knowing the man in front of him was the subject of a global search. Within minutes, German officers entered the cafe. They approached Magnotta, asking for identification, their presence both tense and deliberate. Magnotta tried to lie about his identity, but the facade quickly crumbled. Realizing escape was impossible, he surrendered quietly, uttering the words, "You got me." The global manhunt that had spanned continents ended not with a dramatic chase, but with a quiet resignation. There was no struggle, only the weight of inevitability. His capture was the result of relentless public vigilance and unprecedented international cooperation, a testament to the power of a world united against crime. Ironically, the man who craved the spotlight was finally caught because of his own notoriety. The media swarmed, capturing every moment of his downfall. Magnotta was extradited to Canada under heavy guard, his journey home watched by the world. The performance was over. The trial, with all its gravity and consequences, now awaited him. The world's attention shifted from the chase to the courtroom, as journalists and onlookers gathered to witness justice unfold. Justice for Jun Lin, the victim at the heart of this tragedy, was now in the spotlight, demanding answers and accountability. The final act of this harrowing story was about to begin, with the world watching every step. The story had gripped millions across the globe, but for Jun Lin's family, it was a personal tragedy, a loss that words could never truly capture. As the world braced for the verdict, the search for justice was about to reach its conclusion. Magnotta's trial began in September 2014, a media spectacle. His defense admitted the killing but claimed insanity, citing schizophrenia. Psychiatrists testified he was in a psychotic state, unable to distinguish right from wrong. The prosecution argued he was a calculating, narcissistic killer who planned everything. Evidence showed months of premeditation and a chilling email outlining his intentions. The jury faced two portraits, madman or monster. After 8 days, they found him guilty of first-degree murder and all charges. Insanity was rejected. Magnotta was sentenced to life with no parole for 25 years. Justice, at least in the eyes of the court, was served. The world finally exhaled. Magnotta's conviction closed the legal chapter, but the scars remain. The case exposed the internet's dark side, where fantasy and reality collide. Magnotta's quest for online fame became a cautionary tale. Online sleuths played a crucial role, but the case raised questions about digital responsibility. For Jun Lin's family, justice brought little comfort. Their loss was immeasurable. The story is a reminder of the real human cost behind headlines. It forces us to look at the dangers lurking online. Behind every profile, there's a story we may never truly know. Stay vigilant, and remember, true crime is never just a story. Subscribe for more investigations into the darkest corners of the human mind.